This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz, and I'm very excited to be speaking with Julia Stiles about Chosen a Family. How are you, Julia?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good, good. Cleo, I would describe as a tough nut to crack. Do you think that's an appropriate assessment?
She's definitely tough. She's got a huge chip on her shoulder, but I think that what was fun about playing her is that she is just completely unrelentingly irreverent. Like she just does not care how bratty she can be. It's she's I think, and I mean, she's not totally irredeemable. I do think that by the end of the movie, we come to understand a little bit more why she has such a big chip on her shoulder. But she's struggling with sobriety, and she's kind of just given up on life and politeness.
You seem to enjoy causing chaos also, as you described, without really any sort of concern for the consequences that others may face.
She's pretty self-absorbed on the surface, but again, I think at the end of the movie, we kind of come to understand that there's reasons that she got to this place. But she's her brattiness, I think, is there for comic relief. She's Heather's sister, Heather's character's sister, who's always she just has always been the kid that acts out.
Knowing, as you mentioned, what you learned towards the end of the film, is that something that you worked into your performance to sort of, help to define her?
I mean, honestly, it was really all on the page. I just had to lean into what Heather had written. It was really, really funny, like laugh out loud funny when I first read the script, and I thought, wow, this girl really doesn't hold back. So I just had to lean into what Heather had written and what her intention with the movie was.
Do you see any elements of yourself that you can relate to in this character, or not really?
I mean, I'm sure there's always, I think a lot of times as an actor, I found that you gravitate towards the roles that pull something out of you that you're not really allowed to do in real life, or the ways that you're not allowed to behave in real life. So yeah, I'm sure that there's, uh, the irreverence. I think is something that I was happy to like let let loose.
What is it like working with Heather?
She's amazing. She had sent me the script many years ago. I would say like 3 or 4 years ago, and I just was really excited about being directed by her and acting with her. And it's really hard to get independent films made these days. And she pushed the boulder up the hill. And she's very respectful and collaborative on set, which is always something nice in a director, but also had a very clear vision of what she wanted because she had written the script. She's great.
You think it changes the experience of making a film when you have someone who typically acts writing and directing and also is starring in the film?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think her experience as an actress definitely informed how she treated the other actors, and she was very like observant. I think she was sometimes directors come in and they have an idea of a performance that they want from you, and they're just trying to get you there. But I think because she's an actress, she was watching to see what we would do and what we brought to the movie, and then you would give notes from there. But I liked how she was seeing us. Yeah.
I know you have a film coming up that you'll be directing. Did you take any inspiration from watching Heather?
I did. We were kind of side by side trying to get our project set up. And after I finished filming Chosen Family, I was able to go into directing my own film. Um, and I think any films that you're on, you absorb so much through osmosis. And there's different styles and different sizes of films. But I really loved directing, and I was looking at Heather going, well, she can do it. So I should be able to do it too.
Are there any surprising takeaways from that experience for you?
For me, my own directing.
Yeah.
Learned so many things. Surprises, I don't know. I think surprises. I was surprised at how much I apologized initially, and then about 2 days into, like the actor brain and the director brain are very different. So it's so ingrained in me as an actress to for other people's approval, and when you're a director, you really have to be the one in charge and the leader and the driving, the in the driver's seat. And so about 2 days into filming, I was like, you got to stop qualifying your idea. I wasn't saying sorry, but stop like qualifying your ideas and stop asking people if they think your ideas are good. You just have to communicate them. That surprised me because intellectually I know that I'm not like an apologetic person, but um, it took a little practice.
Is that an experience you'd like to have again directing?
Yeah, I loved it. I'm absolutely hooked. I loved it. It exercised a part of my brain that's like practical and good with time management and that that I really enjoyed. And it's just amazing to see people come together to bring your vision to life. It's incredibly hard work, but it was so energizing too um, because you're making something from scratch.
Well, returning to Chosen Family, you do have some entertaining scenes and a little bit of a chance to interact with the rest of the cast, but otherwise you feel like it's mostly you and the family. Did you have a chance to spend time or be aware of what was happening with, some of the friends and other characters?
Yeah, there was a little bit of overlap. My certainly with the parents and Thomas Lennon I had worked with many years ago on a movie called A Guy Thing, so it was nice to reconnect with him. And he gave me some pieces of advice on directing too, which was very nice. And we were also all in Providence, and none of us live in Providence. So when you're on location like that, you end up eating meals together and all that. It was a really nice group. And in a movie of this size, really everybody's there just because they want to support Heather and because they like the script and not for any other reason, really. So there's a very positive attitude on set, I think.
You mentioned the guy thing, and I know that you have other films like 10 Things I Hate About You and Save the Last Dance, the Bourne movies, and your role on Dexter. Do you feel like there's anything in particular from your career that really follows you through and that people sort of are always talking to you about, even if it's, for another project?
Um, it comes in waves, depending on probably on what movies on streaming at the time or rerunning on cable at the time. But it's really not. I mean, I do not take it for granted when people tell me that they are still thinking about a movie that I made 25 years ago. That's really special as a performer, and what you want to make movies that impact or entertain people, and the fact that you know it, the movies still have a life years later is wonderful.
What's the project that you wish people would ask you about that no one ever brings up and hasn't been seen as much as it should?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I guess there's like a little movie called It's a Disaster that I did with a bunch of comedian friends of mine, and nobody ever thinks of me in comedy, but that's all I want to watch ever. So, um, and it was just a special movie because we all had a lot of fun, and I think it's a good ensemble cast. But occasionally people do bring it up, and that always catches my attention because it's nice to know that the movie's out there and somebody's watching it.
And a good transition from this one because this is a Chosen Family is a comedy. So those who don't think they see you a lot in comedy, here's the first example. It's a Disaster is the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, since this is Awards Buzz, we love talking about awards, and I'm curious if there's a performance or a show or a film you've seen recently that you found to be particularly awards worthy.
Oh my goodness. Do you know, I really honestly I'm not trying to dodge the question. I have been in such a bubble of making my own movie that I haven't really been watching much else. And I have 3 kids, so if I have any time to watch something, it's usually Bluey. Um, yeah, that's a good question. What would I be rooting for this season? Honestly, I really am just coming up for air from Wish You Were Here, so I've got a lot of catching up to do.
Before I let you go, can you share anything about release plans for that film, or is that not, can you not say that yet?
It'll be coming out in theaters. We don't have an exact release date yet, but early next year is likely.
Well, I wish you plenty of luck for that. Thank you for taking 2 minutes to speak with me today.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Have a good day.